So welcome back everyone to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here for today. I mean, we have on the show two incredible, super badass, talented people. We have Amy, she's been on the show before, and we have Ruby, two incredible, talented, super badass people. How are you guys?
Great. Thanks for the intro. I love it.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Really great to be back.
I mean, what better way to start up?
I speak words.
Yeah, like what better way to start up a super week than to be chatting with not one but two badass people? I mean, what else can I ask right now? You know what I mean?
Well, we are equally on with. Oh, I'm on with two badass people too. So thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, perfect. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. But most important, in the description below, you're going to find all of Amy and Ruby's social media. Let's follow them. Let's make them viral. Hashtag Team Amy and hashtag Team Ruby. Now, without further more, let's jump in here. So for today, it's just a regular chat here going on. You know, we have two talented, super badass actresses and writers. So I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question on the whole acting side, which is if you could step into the shoes of any character you played for a day, who would it be and why? Who wants to go first?
Are these real people or like fake characters?
Fake characters you have played.
Okay, ones that
I've played previously.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Amy, if you want to go first.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, the one that I would most want to jump into would be Poppy of Ginger and Poppy, which was a short that I did a few years ago now, very much in the style of like Scooby-Doo Home Alone antics. Two girls needing money for rent, and they come up with this brilliant plan to catch the robbers that are going around her neighborhood. And it's just like antic after antic, trying to set traps because they know that these guys are going to come to their place because they always leave their doors open and unlocked, and then climbing back in through windows so they can trap the bad guys. And they're armed with Nerf guns. And I got to do this with one of my friends, Faith Kelly, who was in Walk Away with me. And we just had a blast. Every day on set, we had so much fun. And living in those characters, in my head, I picture it as an animated film, pretty much. I mean, I had a blonde wig and she has just like crazy red hair. And I just see it as being so vibrant and ridiculous. And with the name Poppy, I'm always pretty peppy up here with level of positivity. I'd be good. I'd be good in that world. Oh, and set against a background of our neighbor being this cool ass, kick ass jazz saxophonist who in real life is just like a very good dude helping out the community and a lot of youths that don't have the opportunity or maybe the safety in their home that they should have. So he's just done a lot in the local community, and it's really cool to have him on set with us. So that's my world, Ginger and Poppy.
There you go.
Well, mine's gonna be super lame following Amy.
Ruby's just really dark. So
Amy's always really hard to follow. Well, so one of the short films that I wrote, it's superhero, but really it's a play on Wonder Woman. A girl she's a cosplay Wonder Woman. She goes to parties and she's the person. I sound like a total idiot right now, but she goes to birthday parties and she puts on a show for all the kids at the birthday parties. So instead of the parents running around and playing with the kids, you have Wonder Woman there that's fighting and battling kids in bouncy houses all over their backyards or whatever. But one of the things that she does, she goes around and finds kids that need to be cheered up and that need Wonder Woman to save them. So she she periodically will go to different kids' houses. She'll see a little girl on her steps. So this is in the film. This little girl's on the steps of her house, just really down. She doesn't have kids to play with. She gets bullied. So Wonder Woman comes and saves the day for Lily and puts on this big show. And her and Lily are battling forces of evil in Lily's backyard. And her parents are just kind of watching because they don't see Wonder Woman. They just see Lily out there just having an incredible day. So that's what Wonder Woman does. She goes around in her costume and just saves the day for kids. At the end of the film, Wonder Woman somehow ends up at a bachelor party and doesn't realize it. So she ties up one of the guys in the chair with her gold rope, and then saves that birthday party or bachelor party also, because the guys, they just want someone to like drink beers with, play Nintendo, not Nintendo, PS5 or whatever, but she saves that birthday party or bachelorette party also. But I think it would be great to just get dressed up and walk around different neighborhoods or drive around neighborhoods in my Wonder Woman costume and make people's day that are either having a crappy day or, are getting bullied at school for one reason or another, and just making their day even that much better. So that's who I would spend the day as, just fixing people's days. Wonder Woman.
There you go.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that you were gonna go with one of the films we've done together, where Ruby is a little bit angrier.
Which one did you think? So I honestly thought about it, but I was like, why would I want to go around and be one myself? Because I'm pretty angry all the time. Or just go around being angry. I'm like, if I had my choice, I would actually be Amy because she's super happy and positive. So that's the character that I would choose. Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it. Sounds fun.
She also looks awesome in her Wonder Woman costume because she's like military fit and tall.
Oh, thanks, Amy.
You're right.
It's getting all my stuff back into better shape. Yeah.
All right. Now, if you could choose any historical figure to portray on screen, who would it be?
Historical figure. Oh,
The
shoot.
sky is the limit.
Hard one. Ruby, do you have ideas? Are you good?
I would do Joan of Arc.
Ooh.
Because she's like the OG badass freaking heroine chick. That's who I would want to portray. I mean, she is everything that any girl nowadays would wish to be. She's like the OG badass chick. That's who I would do.
Yeah. That's a good one. I like that. Historical figure.
It could be a dude, but you probably want to be a girl.
Even in fake world. Oh my gosh. I feel like this should not be so hard. Does it have to be a known historical person?
Yeah, why not? Let's go for both.
All right. Well, if it's not known, I'm gonna go with that one first because I have an answer for that one. I want to play my grandma and her story with my grandpa, which went through like Spanish Civil War, Basque refugees, my grandpa receiving a death penalty from Franco, death penalty, wasn't arrested, death sentence from Franco when he was in during his regime, escaping that and traveling all across the world to eventually make it to the States and reunite. So her story, a known historical figure. I really love like the history of women in science. So not necessarily like Marie Curie, but someone of that caliber who, against like all odds and all cultural standards at that point, were able to excel in this field of, you know, biology, chemistry, math, one of the sciences, and be like, hey, I can do this too. Also, here's this awesome breakthrough that I found, or antidote that I developed. Or Marie Curie actually, you know, ended up dying from her creation because she was like testing all the stuff on herself. But incredible nonetheless.
True.
I think those are really yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take both answers. Both are pretty cool. Love it. Now, moving to the whole writing side now. So, Ruby, Amy told me that you are writing a Western and you guys are planning it to shoot during the summer, right? But tell me, like what drew you to the genre or of Western films? And what do you find most intriguing about portraying characters in this setting?
So I grew up watching Westerns. I actually hated them. But my father was a huge John Wayne fan, huge, yeah, huge Clint Eastwood fan. My dad loves Matt Dillon and Gunsmoke. So I grew to love Western films. My favorite Western is The Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood. Incredible story. And then my second favorite is The Searchers with John Wayne. So go watch those. Incredible. No, I'm not going to spoil them or anything, even though they're decades old. But those are my two favorite Westerns. What brought me to want to write about that genre, my sister is really big into watching the Yellowstone and 18, what is it? What is it, Amy? 18?
Oh, 1883, 1884.
1883 or 1884, whichever ones those are. She's really big. I have not watched them. I don't watch a ton of television, but she and I were talking about just a story with what we're writing about now. So I took her ideas and kind of made it my own. And I've gotten back into watching all of these old Westerns. One of my favorite films, it is a Western. It's Summersby. It was made in 1993 or 94. I used to watch that all the time growing up. But I developed a story that I took kind of things that I've experienced, but related them back into the 1800s. And I've done a lot of research and a lot of research on the history after the Civil War. And I'm just really enamored by everything that happened in such a short period of time and how the United States progressed so quickly within a 50-year span. So I wanted to write something that encapsulated that era, not necessarily the history and the progression, but I thought it would be a fun story to write, especially with the ideas of my younger sister being so excited about Yellowstone in 1883. I thought it was time, and some of the conversations that Amy and I have had is that's really an untapped area where the sky's the limit. There's not a ton out right now, and we think that we could really do good in that genre, and it would be a really, really fun and interesting film to put out. So that's what really sparked Dogwood. The name of the film is Dogwood.
Dogwood. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. You know, I used to not to be, yeah, I was not a very fan of westerns. But then a couple of years ago, I played this video game called Red Dead Redemption 2 and got me hooked into the whole
Okay.
western, right? So
Yeah.
it got me like super hooked. I was like, okay, this is pretty awesome. I like it. So when Amy told me that you guys were planning on this western, I was like, okay, this is good. This is definitely on my attention because I love westerns now. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's awesome. And tell me, like, how do you plan to balance the traditional aspects of a Western film with modern storytelling techniques to create a compelling narrative?
So the ways that we are going to use the modern techniques, um, so we have an old Western set, and we're going to use the set to our benefit. But I really enjoy the Quentin Tarantino style of filming, how you show different scenes that
Mm,
are all within the same like day or whatnot, but over, you go back and forth and you show different points of view and perspectives. So I'm going to take that style of filming and use that in the older Western feel. I think that that will be very, very interesting and fun for the viewer. It'll be fun for the individuals on set and the actors, but when you view it, you'll see that that flower bloom with, oh, this is what they were doing when we kept changing the points of views on set. But I think for the viewer, it's going to be very interesting to see the story develop into that Quentin Tarantino style back and forth of the scenes and points of views and things like that.
okay, okay. And
Can I add on to that?
yeah, sure.
So obviously, with Ruby writing and with the main characters being women, there's going to be a stronger focus on that perspective. Um, but with all of the period look to it, it's still going to have that appropriate time period feel, just a bit of a different viewpoint. Um, and from a character and acting perspective, even over time, people and relationships don't really change. So some of the dialogue and language has evolved over time, but how you engage with your family members, your husband, your sister, the scary man in town, etc., is pretty much the same. So those character interactions don't change. It's really just the focus and then amping up kind of all of that energy and all of the action and all of the drama as viewed through these women within this kind of new camera technique style to just bring it in a different light.
Okay. Another another you mentioned that, Amy, tell me, like, what aspect of working on a Western film are you most looking forward to experience this summer?
I'm most looking forward to being in a period piece, to being on set that looks like that. So you're like, as soon as you're on set, you're in costume, you're in this whole new world, and it can just shift your perspective really quickly when you're completely immersed in something like that. Um, so I'm really excited about that part of it, as well as being around and working with the horses, old ammunitions, and because it is a period piece, really having the opportunity to dig into that aspect of history and just play. I mean, it's like any other thing. We get to have some fun with it, and also, you know, maybe show some of the issues of that time period in particular, and how, like, with Ruby's story, you know, end of slavery, that's something that comes up, and how people interact with slaves who are no longer slaves, they're free, and in different parts of the country. And I think those things are really important to not forget. Like,
Yeah.
within our American history and within history in many parts of the country and the world, there have been moments of slavery. What happens after? What happens when you realize that's fucked? I did something terrible to another human, to many other humans for a long period of time. And then what changes? And what changes is what matters. And let's not go back.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to add something also. You know, one of the ways that we're not trying to amplify an unrealistic view of anything. We want to keep it period correct, but also we want to keep how, for instance, there are fight scenes to where I'm going to be getting the shit kicked out of me. And I'm not some badass fighter. I'm in that time frame. I would not really have an idea. Like, I'm not an MMA fighter in the film. So I would be fighting pretty much for survival. So we wouldn't be like, oh, this chick is, doing this and she's doing that and she's a badass. No, I'm still getting the shit kicked out of me. This is how a real fight would actually go down. So we don't want to amplify things that are unrealistic. We're showing things that are very realistic and how it would potentially have gone down in 1865.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is incredible. The fact that you are presenting this film here. I mean, one of the things that I've been talking about is that I'm sick of remakes and things like that, and I want new content. You know, I mean, there's millions of different stories that you are able to create, and the fact that you're working on something new and you are focusing on those type of details. I mean, that's pretty cool here. So
Thanks.
I like it. That's badass. I mean, just say.
Yeah.
And question for both here. Tell me, like, what do you hope audiences will take away from this film?
One of the things that I want audiences to take away is the production quality. So we're a small production company, an independent film company that makes incredible pictures. You don't need a huge budget. You don't need all of this fancy stuff. What you need is someone behind the camera that knows what they're doing, an editor that knows what they're doing. You need to have talented actors and actresses. And actors and actresses, most people think, oh, these people make thousands of dollars and they live in Hollywood and this and that. Most people don't understand that the actors and actresses that make most productions aren't getting paid a lot, and they're very talented. They're just, the 99% of filmmakers and things like that. So you don't need a huge budget. All you need is good work ethic. You need an imagination. You need creativity. You need perseverance, because this whole 2-year process is an ass kicker. It's easy to say, oh, I'm done. I don't want to do this. Marketing, advertising is a son of a bitch. It takes so much work before you even start filming, and then again after filming. So what I really want people to take away is all you need is good work ethic. and imagination and creativity to do good work. And you need to be consistent if you really want to make something of yourself and what you're doing. And it's not just filmmaking, it's really everything in life. But since you're asking me about the film, that's where we're going to stay. But you just have to be consistent. You have to keep pushing through. You have to say, you know what, if this person's not going to give me an opportunity, I'm going to make my own opportunities. So it's a conduit to making something better. And I want them to look at this film when we're done and be like, holy shit, that's an incredible film. That is an incredible picture. And this is how they made it. That's what I want them to take away.
Yeah. Did it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Amy?
Ruby's answer was so good. I feel so driven now too. I'm really connected to characters and character driven. So I would like people to go away really feeling connected to one of the characters or seeing themselves in one of the characters. The three main women go on a journey, essentially. They go through some stuff. And being able to relate to those struggles, maybe not realistically in terms of, brawling, fighting, shootouts. But when something happens and that immediately shifts your perspective, what morals you hang on to, what you have to go after because of what happened, how that changes you. I think there's so much there. There's so much within all of us, and being able to see that on the screen and be like, oh yeah, I get that. I get how she got there. I really love it.
Great answer.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And how could you describe? Check this one out. How could you describe this film on a drink?
On a drink?
Mm-hmm. Let's say that I want to, like a made up drink, or like what drink would you say that could match perfectly with this upcoming film?
I would say a smoky bourbon on the rocks.
I'll take it.
I was gonna say cheap beer, but my character works in a bar, so maybe that's why.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. You're describing this as a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
In terms of the character, not what people are seeing, not the viewer perspective, as the people in it.
Okay. All right.
That's so funny.
Cool. And
Amy's not a drinker. She doesn't know.
I really don't know. I don't know.
All right. And my last question, so we can all enjoy and relax after after a couple of difficult questions, let's say. Anyway, so the last one is, what do you think that would be the best, the best title for this episode?
Western Drive. Women in westerns.
Oh my gosh.
Superheroes, westerns, and
cheap beer.
Amy doesn't drink. Cheap beer.
Oh my gosh. I'm not good at titles. I don't like putting titles on things, Dan.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. You got me stumped.
I mean, I got one, and it was due to Amy's superheroes, westerns, and cheap beer.
Okay.
Something like around those lines would be,
yeah,
like westerns, superheroes, and cheap beer. That's the title. When you,
I think that checks all the main points.
Right? Sounds interesting, right? I mean, when you see it on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast, that title will be like, what is this? What is this about? You know, I think it
Ah,
gets that attention. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I
I think
hope
I think it's great. Yeah.
Cool. So we have a title. Sounds like a plan. I love it. I mean,
There we go.
at the end, what can I say, guys? I mean, the fact that you're creating something new, it is. I mean, I love that. I mean, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this project to be, to be made and everything. And I'm super sure that it's gonna be super cool, super badass because the fact that you're putting so much attention to everything. I mean, I think that is something that we, the audience, should be expecting to be like if they are putting an extra. You know, they're making sure everything looks good. That's awesome already. I mean, it's at least to me, it's already sold. So I love it. I love it. Keep doing what you do. Keep inspiring and keep creating this incredible type of stories because we need them, especially right now in this kind of crazy world we are currently living in. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for making this happen. And I also want to thank those who are tuning in. As I said in the beginning, in the description below, you're gonna find all of Amy and Ruby's social media. Let's make them viral. Hashtag Team Amy. Hashtag Team Ruby. Like right now, go share some love, follow them, share some likes, and yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'll be seeing you in the next one then.
All right.